Valerie, I'm always happy to talk with you. And I'm so happy that you're here to prod me, poke me, inquire about the Showgirl Awakening deck that's brewing right now. And I just I'm so delighted to share you also because you are a luminary. You are a luminary. Um, lucky world. I'm introducing you to Valerie Kravette, aka Ivana Stup, as her burlesque persona, artist at large and creativity coach who you can connect with on Facebook at Valerie Kravette. I pronounced it right correctly?
Yeah. Yep.
Good, good, good. Good.
You're good.
And I you've been on the midwife team for this deck for a few years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I went back in my mail looking for something and I realized we'd been working on this for a while.
I think I saw documents from 2017 that we might have looked at together.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's so many, it's a little nebulous to find originating times for something like this because as you know, as an artist at large, these projects they brew at different levels.
Yeah.
And so I would be hard pressed to find when did this project start? I could give so many different answers, but over the last 3 years, it's been very conscious. There it's been above the ground sprouting, not seed in
Yeah.
the earth, but it's been stems and leaves and trunks and branches for at least 3 years, and I'm so excited. This, if you happen to be watching and not just listening, I'm showing a very kind of sad little. I had a prototype of the deck, and it was a beautiful prototype that had a lovely font. And I lost that somewhere here at the Feather's Nest where I live, and I had to have something in hand at least. So this is a little circle, and in ballpoint pen on it, it says one word. Can you read it?
Revel.
Revel, revel. Oh, I hold this card in my hand. I hold it to my heart because this revel. And um, if you're tuning in live for the first time, we're picking 3 cards from the deck. And shall I call you Valerie or Ivana today?
Valerie's fine.
I'm calling Valerie today.
Yeah.
This is the first card that we're going to look at, and Valerie's going to muse on this card with me and help me come to the essence, to really communicate the essence of this card. Reveling is the first of the 3 pillars of Showgirl Awakening. It's big. It's where I most clearly lost myself in that basically I lived this cosmology, and now I'm putting it into a deck so people can consciously, including me, can consciously engage with it in a fun, tactile, visual way. And in Showgirl Awakening speak, revel, because this revel's not a very popular word in common speaking, not so much.
No. I can't think of anybody who uses that as a verb.
Yeah, rarely. I mean, the one when I think of reveling as something that would happen in a New Orleans marching funeral. Yeah, and I actually love that because that's such a good picture and feeling state, because when we're celebrating someone who's died, there is great tenderness and grief and celebration celebrating
Mm.
of the life. So what it is it's the gamut of feeling. It's the full gamut of feeling, and that's how I'm using Revel, is the full having access to our full range on a sensation and an emotion level, both full body sensation and full emotional range, so that grief and rage and terror and pure joy and ecstasy, that none of them are off limits, that they're all, that we get to play the palette. Um, and when I say the longer phrase related to revel in this work, it's reveling in the body. And that's because the body, that's, we have our sensations and our emotions only because we have bodies.
Yes.
I mean, our bodies are our vehicle. They are, and they are so, so, so very wise. Whenever I'm in your presence, I have body tingles because your presence is a tuning fork for me.
Oh, okay.
You,
Okay, glad to hear it. No, I know we're awfully brilliant together. I've noticed that.
yeah. Do you have reflections of any kind, the most subjective, the most objective, about this? This really is. This is the all of the cards in the deck. The whole deck is about embodiment.
Right.
But this is almost like the embodiment of embodiment. Do you know? This is
Right. So this is the first card of the three. Is that right? Would you
yes, it
consider it?
is. Yes, I
Okay.
always start with that, even though the truth is, when you're truly reveling, you're also revealing and you're also receiving. You
Right.
can't, they happen simultaneously, but if you're going to parse them out, this happens first. It has to.
Well, I think it has to because of our culture, because of just
Oh,
the big thing when you talked about it being emotion, the full range of emotions in the body. Um, I would say most of the women out there walking around, and men too, do not feel all the emotions, do not embody all the emotions, right?
yeah.
Um, when I look at the three words together,
Yeah.
uh, reveal implies that there is an observer,
Yes.
right? And
Even,
receive implies,
yeah.
yeah,
Even if
yeah,
it's inside, like self on self, the self seeing the
right,
self. Yeah.
right. And receive implies that there's somebody you're receiving from, right? So there's a subject object thing going on, a conversation. But
Yes. Yes. It does.
revel, it's like the thing that comes to mind with me is, in the beginning there was the goddess and she reveled, you know,
Yeah.
before she started creating,
Yeah.
an audience to bounce off of.
Yeah. Yeah. Reveling is coming. It's when I know my feeling landscape, my genuine, honest experience, what it feels like to be me in a body at any moment.
Mhm.
From there, I know what I want.
Yes.
If I'm being obtuse with myself, if I'm trying to put on a fake smile, or if I'm trying to feign or hide any of my experience, I can't genuinely know what I want. So I
Right.
can't know what to show. I can't know what to reach for. Show being a reveal word. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to lean into this. We're
Okay.
doing the three major cards. That's what we're doing.
Oh, okay.
We're doing revel, reveal, and receive. Is that groovy for you?
Sure. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, great. Because we're wanting to talk about all three, and bring it on. I think that's great.
Well,
Okay.
I need to kind of work it out in my head, work it out in my body
Yeah.
as well. Be able
Yeah.
to make those distinctions.
I think this is wonderful. We're just gonna on purpose dive into all three. Um,
Okay.
when I was getting ready to sit down here with you, and I was looking back to see what had I written about Revel, because I talk about it all the time and I pay attention to it, but I didn't write very much about it yet. And I just two verbs came up for Revel: um, feel and be. feel and be. Reveling is about feeling and just about our existence. Yeah. So if
Yes.
I'm feeling sheepish for existing, which is unfortunately not an unusual state for humans, and I will say especially women, but for humans for sure, for humans of any gender, but it's often, you know, for many reasons, women, and this right to exist. When our right to exist is alive and well, we are we are reveling well. Yeah, we are reveling well when our right to exist. Yeah. And then, oh, I feel so relieved we get to talk about all three. That
Well,
reveal, yay! The reveal, the verbs that came up are to see and be seen, to know
right.
and be known, and I went even one step further, to love and be loved. Really, they all come together.
Yeah.
Love is a word that has so many dirty fingerprints on it that I hesitate to use love and be loved, because it's one of those terms that has so not often pointed to what I think love really is. But we could leave it at see and be seen or know and be known, but really in its clear state, it's also love and be loved. When we are revealing ourselves in the way we wish to, with other humans or other parts of creation that have the ability to see, not just humans, animals and nature and all of it. The only response, from one, well, I don't know so much how animals and nature feel. So I'm going to talk about humans. From one human to see another, to really see another human, the only thing it can ever evoke is love. To really see.
Yes.
Yeah. Yay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
But it's a very specific love without the baggage. We need more words for love in English.
we need as many words for love as there are for snow in snowy lands.
Right.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, it's the kind of love of I'm gonna give it some adjectives. It's awe. It's the awe filled, like, it's not like I love you, I want to sleep with you or marry you. It's the, you're allowing me to feel, again, it's this dyadic, it's this reflection, it's this thing that we both know because we practice conscious performing. um, it goes both ways equally well, from the person performing consciously and the conscious audience member. It goes equally well both ways. When we see each other and we're naked, haha, we do burlesque, and
Right.
when we're
Right.
naked, metaphorically, when we're cosmically naked, whoa, never said that. When we're
Yeah.
cosmically naked and we see um, the other sees us, they feel their own essence because they're seeing our essence, and it evokes that. It's so far beyond, am I worthy to exist? Do I have a right to exist? We just exist, and we're in the middle of the existence, and like we're in the middle of the verb. We're not outside analyzing the verb.
Right.
We're in the full feeling of, oh, you exist, I exist. Ah, this is so good, I don't know what to say. We get this
Well,
in little doses when we are
that's the
practicing.
essence. Yeah, that's the essence of live performance, and that's what is kind of driving us all crazy right now, because we're having to do it through technology. There's something about actually being in the room with somebody and feeling the love.
It's true, and I'm going to say I've had the experiences I've had in these last, just, I don't know when someone is listening to this, so I'm just going to say we are
Right.
in the middle of
Right.
COVID-19. I've been at home. Well, I was sick 2 months before this, so I've been at home for 4.5 months. But most of the world has been at home for more, almost 3 months. Wait. No, almost 2 months. Almost 2 months now. But you know, Valerie, I'm not saying this out of wishful thinking. I have felt people enormously
Yes.
when the intention and the setting is to see someone, even virtually. Not that I would ever wish not having a choice, like we don't have a choice, but
Yeah.
I haven't felt the transmission diminished. Thank goodness. Um, when someone has really been in the center of themselves over Zoom, not just Zoom.
Yeah. Well, no. When was that? Gosh, it feels
Two
like a
days
million
ago. It was
years
two
ago.
days
I think
ago.
it was the beginning of this month, right?
Oh,
When you had the,
oh, it
I want to
was
say
more. It was a month
recital
ago. It was a month
a month
ago.
ago.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, I was amazed how well that worked and that I got the transmission.
Yes. Yes. So,
Yeah.
for those of you who weren't there with us, pardon me, we were both witnesses in a an online uh, performance, a showcase, and I never wanted to hold one of those because I didn't think it would work. I really didn't think it would communicate. But I had these lovely, lovely folks who were planning to perform. Truthfully, their acts weren't even done because we were going to finish them in person when basically we met 2 days creating, and then we had to stay home 2 days later and couldn't meet again to finish. So these were even unfinished acts, all online, and the transmission was beautifully, I'm just going to say beautifully precise. I don't know, it's a funny word to use. It might be somehow because when someone's on the screen, we really look there. We really look there. And then when we're in a live situation, my attention is a little more, oh, I'm looking over here, I'm looking up here. I don't know what it is. I'm trying to understand it. But there we were. And it was like, oh my gosh. Alrighty then. But so that makes me come back. I love how you mentioned that both in reveal, you were saying both in reveal and receive, these other two pillars, that you didn't use the word, but you were dyadic, like that there's two.
Yes.
There's two. And I will just say for both of them, it can also be, both of them can be us on us. I can see myself,
Yes.
that works.
Yes.
And also I can, in a kind of gross, explicit giving and receiving, I give you something. Like here's a feather, and the feather goes from my hand to your hand. But I am as much or more interested in receiving, and the tag to receiving in this deck and work is receiving what you truly desire, or receiving what you desire. This can be, I like to use the piece of cake metaphor. I can decide, I can go and purchase, either bake, if I do that, I can bake, or I can purchase a slice of cake and take a bite, get that bite on the fork, put it in my mouth. I'm on my way to receiving.
Mm-hmm.
But what happens next, my internal stance towards me eating this cake, makes
Yes.
it receiving or not. You already know where I'm going.
Yeah, kind of. Please keep going.
Okay, okay. So that cake is in my mouth. It's making me salivate. It tastes delicious. If I start to think about how, oh, I've just ruined my dinner, or oh my goodness, that was the last piece and I know my neighbor wanted it, or oh no, it's going to sit on my hips for 20 years. Any of these three things, they slice and dice that receiving right out of existence.
Yes.
I might chew and swallow, and technically I took in that cake. Did I receive it? No. So we can have technically wonderful things that we decided we wanted, a job we wanted, a partner, a home, um, whatever it is. And if we don't feel, if we don't experience having it with the feelings that we originally wanted to have it for, we're not having it. I think we have an epidemic of not having lots of shit, but not having anything going on
Yeah.
in the world.
Yeah.
What does that spark for you?
Well, yeah, you know, I'm thinking of all the voices, because there are voices, right? And who do they belong to, right? The you know, ruin my dinner, off my diet. That is
Right.
all
Right.
external stuff put on us by the culture, or you know, if the voices of our parents in our head or whatever. It has nothing to do with who we are. If we were able to just be in the present moment without bringing in our parents, bringing in our bosses, you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
then we can receive, right?
Yeah.
Or thinking about, oh, this is going to add 5 pounds or go directly to my hips or whatever.
Yeah.
Uh, so, okay, well, it's a function of a couple things. It's a function about being in the present moment and receiving, right?
Yeah.
But you have to be present. You can't be thinking of the past or the future.
And you have to be feeling like maybe your mouth was loving that cake. Your
Yeah.
mouth and your tongue were going, oh, choop, yum, yum, yum. But yeah, but
But yeah, but it's being present and being embodied, fully embodied, and not letting, uh, you know, other cultural voices live rent free in your head. And it's, you
and
know,
beliefs that we
yes,
absorb. Uh,
yes. And I think you were about to, well, if you didn't, it's like it's a spiral pattern or a circular pattern. We don't get it perfect. We just keep practicing it until we,
oh yeah, we
yeah.
as is said, NLP Marin is a wonderful school that I've had the privilege of spending several years deeply involved with, and we say it's just our job as humans to choose, take what we get,
Right.
and then choose again. Really simple. Well, easy to say because there is that
Yes.
stage of take what you get. You you've got to take it, and then you like it, you don't like it. That helps you make a new choice. But it's just a
Mm-hmm.
sequence of choices. And I'm saying this as a general framework, but yeah, for all of it, yeah. What would you like? The question that kicks all that off is, what would I like? How do I know what I would like? I've got to test out. I've got to dip my finger in. How do I feel? How might I feel when this happens or that happens? And that's all based on until we do some rewiring and updating work on our systems. That's all based on how it felt before. So we want
Right.
to
Exactly.
clear the cache, clear the cookies,
Yes.
clear the cookies.
Good. Good way of putting that. And it makes it a lot easier to get to that point of uh, love as we define it, and not how the culture defines it, which is just it's a lot of it is about being present. I'm gonna go off on a technical tangent here for a minute.
Please do.
There is a acting book. I think it's still in print. I'm not sure, but it's called Audition by Michael Shurtleff. It's from the 70s. Okay, so he was casting people on Broadway in the 70s and has a lot of great stories in the book. But he basically gives you a system for cold reading, for walking into an audition and being able to, I don't want to say give a performance,
Yeah.
but create a performance with almost no information. And there are 12 guideposts, and I've really found them useful for any scene study or any creation of a story, because they're story oriented. But the very first one is, where is the love? Every scene is a love scene.
Oh, I love that. Ha ha ha. Every scene
Yeah.
is a love scene. Where is the love? Ooh, say a little more about that.
There's,
Where's the love?
um, well, it's a thing that hooks us. Otherwise, why would we even be watching this scene?
Yeah.
But you know, even with, you know, between, let's say, a scene between you know, estranged parent and child, Where is the love? Well, the child still needs love. The child was never loved. And all the other things work into it. It's not pure by any means. It's all the distortions of love that we were talking about. But, you know,
Oh, it's where
we're
is
looking for that kind. We're looking for that connection.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
On stage between characters, and we respond to it with our sympathetic systems. Otherwise, there's nothing to watch.
Okay. Oh, there's so much there that you just said. Which thread do I want to jump in on? I want to ask a little more to clarify. The kind of love that you speak of, he wasn't necessarily meaning the kind of love we were talking about earlier, was he?
Which I think is more what happens between the performer and the audience. But this is about reflecting how we actually handle love on stage, which means all the distortions that there are. But if there isn't somebody scrambling for love in the scene, it's just not gonna interest us.
Okay, that's where I actually, if this is talking about what I think it is, it could also be said as, well, you've got to have an arc in the story. Like something has to go wrong. You can't make a movie about in which nothing goes wrong. The movie wouldn't be interesting, which is something goes right, and then something else goes right, and then something else goes right. It can't be interesting.
Right.
Maybe that's true for a movie, but I don't believe that the similar thought that you have to have great angst to make great art. I don't believe that, actually. I think that I think that it's, my experience is that this is hard to put words to, but I think I can do it. Letting someone else see us in the process of releasing, of actively, and this is why burlesque is so funny, the metaphor, actively peeling away the layers that separate us from this naked cosmic self, from the essence of who we are, that is not, that the self that is free from the distortions of love. Because what it is we're often experiencing is distorted love. There's always the intended outcome of, like, it's the I love you that comes from one person, and then the words are scrambled and they end up, what do you mean I'm a big green giant? All I said was I love you, because it's just, but I find it really beautiful to see. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to talk about it well, but I
have a thought.
What's that?
Yeah, I have a thought, because I'm still working this out myself. You know, I've got revel, reveal, and receive, and reveal and receive as you know, audience feedback. It's going back to the goddess dancing alone and reveling.
Oh yeah.
That's still powerful, and it has elements of reveal and receive in it.
Oh, it definitely does.
We will watch a woman who's fully embodied.
Yeah.
Fully embodied, and we will benefit from that.
Yeah. We'll receive. Yeah. If we allow the revelation to land, if we allow ourselves our bodies to feel what we're able to tolerate on the scale of what she's feeling, and then if we come from this place where we are a naked audience member, I don't mean that we don't have our clothes on, but when we are disrobing at the same time, cosmically,
Yes.
we're getting the same access to our core that we're seeing. And then that is a receiving. It's a big receiving. So that's why I was saying before, when they're really happening, they happen absolutely simultaneously.
Right.
The reveling, the reveal, and the receiving. These are just a parsing out of three aspects of perceiving ourselves as spirit in a body, as timeless spirit in a very time-caught body.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Okay.
I think it's playing. I think it's playing with our ability to experience our timeless ecstasy.
Mm. Yeah.
Because ecstasy, we even as I say that word, you know, visions of someone going ah, or being like deep in the middle of a sexual experience, but I mean the vibration of ecstasy that we can totally tolerate every freaking second of every day, not the kind that we have to, you know, drop everything. And no, I mean that level. And there is a card. We're not going to go into a fourth card, but do stay tuned.
Okay.
One of the cards, it actually came up in another interview, is orgasm, and by that it's also, orgasm card might get mentioned a lot. It's not reduced to a physical, like a clitoral orgasm. It's not just it's not just the getting off. It's this kind of ecstasy or this kind of orgasm is a constant, active, dynamic, truth-telling dance of my receptivity and my assertiveness, of my feminine nature and my masculine nature. Because when they're fully dancing and not stopping each other, it is ecstasy.
Mm.
Every second can be ecstasy.
Mm. Okay. Yeah, that was profound. That you should write down if you haven't.
Write that one down. Okay.
Yeah, I'll go back and look at the recording and write it down because it was fun. I have a feeling you locked down some language.
That's beautiful. Okay.
And the other thing I was going to ask you, and this is again technical stuff about the deck. Do you have are you keeping track of inquiries for each card? I mean, the questions that you would ask.
Oh, that's a really good question. No, I haven't been. So just a little bit, like maybe one question. But yeah, thank you. That's very rich. What are the questions?
The inquiries that'll get people into into the.
What questions might we ask for these?
Reveal and receive.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Ooh, maybe what question about like what are you feeling? But there's the two kinds. What are you sensing and what are you feeling? I might need to give an example. As I feel both are worthwhile to get a hit on the emotion and the sensations that you notice.
Mm-hmm.
I can work with the wording of that. Do you have another hit?
Well, receive, the thing that pops into my mind is what do you most need to receive?
Mm-hmm.
What are you burning to reveal? Or, but reveal doesn't have to be like, the pasty punchline.
Oh, no.
It's a progression of revelation.
Yes.
What is being revealed to you in the process?
Mm-hmm.
Something about mystery in there, I think. what is the thing you don't know? What
Uh-huh.
what don't you know? Oh God, how's that go? What don't you know about what you don't know?
What don't you know about what you don't know?
Yeah, yeah. It's one of those one of those coaching questions, when people go, but I don't know. Yeah, and you ask, well, what is it that you don't know? In other words,
Yeah, yeah,
starting to kind of peel the layers off.
yeah.
Uh,
Hmm.
Receiving is a function of what can you receive,
Yeah.
because that is often, it's like a couple of years ago, I went to a naturopath and discovered that I was low in iron, but it was because I was not absorbing it. So my body was actually not receiving.
That's exactly. You put it in, but it didn't soak up. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Your body was not receiving it.
yeah.
You took it in physically and your body didn't receive it.
So yeah, there's been a lot of, spending time to reconstruct the gut biome there so that can happen. Yeah. And that's what I would call a like an extreme example where your body, I kind of interpret it as I felt so uncomfortable about receiving that my body got that message and decided not to receive on my
Yeah.
behalf.
I mean, to me, I have a very kind of wide and loose definition for autoimmune illness. I would lump that in there somehow. That's the body saying, "No, no, I'm not gonna eat my Wheaties.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna take in the love.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna take in the love. I am very specifically. Don't give me what I need. Don't you dare. Don't you dare. I'm not having it." And
Yeah.
then the reasons for that the reasons for that very often are, I'm not going to have it. This is all in a less than conscious place that this is taking
Right.
occur.
Right.
I'm not going to have it any better than those people that I love. I'm not going to have it one iota better. Doesn't matter, and maybe especially if they're dead. I will not have it better than anyone I know or have ever known, or even the people I'm related to who I will never personally know. It might be great, 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 great grandpa George who didn't have it good. We know this. And out of quote unquote, out of this sort of this, it's an unworkable way to say I love you to someone else is to suffer in the way they suffer.
Yes. That's a good way of putting that.
But humans doggedly try it. Every last one.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But this is unlearnable. This is we can't go to another card, but there is a card about it.
You can tell me about it.
Systemic.
You can just mention.
So it's there's something I love to do just about as much as, I don't know, some days more than doing conscious performance, and that's participating in constellations, systemic constellation work, facilitating, representing, whatever it is. But it's this, we are parts of systems. No matter how much we might feel like an island or alone, we are gauging how much life we're willing to inhabit based on our connection to family members and loved ones. And we are rating, we have an uncanny ability to rate, oh my gosh, so my mother's only living at 20% of her vitality. And I'm making this up. Therefore, out of my love for her, I will not live even 21%. I will stay at 20 or lower to accompany her. It doesn't ever help them, especially the ones who are no longer living, but it doesn't ever help any of them. So it's a big part of the whole Showgirl awakening process is, it really is an individuation process. At the same time it is as a come as it's a spiritual awakening, and it's a psychological, it's an individuation and psychological and spiritual awakening happening at the same time. Because I truly believe you cannot have an authentic awakening without individuating. And that's where a lot of people, if the spiritual bypass happens when we try to, we're saying less than conscious leaders, I'm not going to work out my psychological crap. I'm just going to go join an ashram, or I'm just going to throw myself in wonderful spiritual practice. I'm just going to brush under the bed or under the rug or into the closet all the ways I have not yet individuated. There is no bypassing individuation.
Mm. Yeah, that makes sense.
And it can go well into the 90s. And many of us pass with it not having happened. I'd say I'm 80% in.
Good for you.
I'm really close. I'm really close. Maybe 90. I don't know. We'll stick with 80.
Well, you gave me an idea for the constellation work we might do.
Oh, good. Yes, because we have one coming. Yeah.
I'm definitely holding myself back because of where my mom operated. And she did the very best she could. But, you know, she's 35 years older than I am and pre-feminist, and she had a very specific structure she had to navigate.
Oh, I still look forward to this constellation with you.
Yeah, we'll get back to that.
But this is so good.
And it explains why I've been an adolescent for the last 30 years. Because I believe, adolescence is where if you can successfully navigate that and individuate from your parents, that's when it should happen.
Yeah.
Not so much anymore. Yeah.
I mean, well, it's just taking longer.
Yeah.
But boy, I feel like I just want to mention the whole phrase for reveal. I did for REVEL, reveling in the body, receiving what you truly desire, and the middle one, revealing your radiant essence. And that's been peppered through all we've talked about. This radiant essence, this timeless signature of each one of us. That if we don't, and I don't say this as a what's that when you are as an admonishment to any of us, especially those of us, because I know you and I, Valerie, have spent a long time in collapsing. We won't get into that today, but I think anyone listening, even if you've never heard us talk about that, you could just hear from the term, collapsing. Oh, you're falling forward. This radiant essence is, lost my train a little bit, but this is what I was going to say. If we don't shine as we each individually can, as we have our DNA structure is like, ooh, when this human is at her full shine, it looks like this. If we don't do it, it just never happens. There's no good that comes from it in the next county or the next universe. It's just an absence of the radiance that we have to express and live. It doesn't make it better for someone else for us to not shine, but we live as if that is true. Oh, stop it! Hang on. It doesn't. What was that? Do you have it? It doesn't make it better. It doesn't make it better.
Yeah, I'm losing it. We'll have to go back and
for us to not shine.
Right.
It doesn't make it better for us to not shine. I have to find it. I don't know where it is.
And we'll find it. The next county universe, and yet we behave like.
And yet we behave like it does. Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah. Doesn't make it better. It doesn't make it better for us to not shine for anyone in the next county or universe. and yet we live as if it does.
Right. When the paradox is that we reveal our true essence and it empowers other people.
Yes, we reveal our true essence, and that's not verbatim, but very close to the definition of a showgirl in the awakening sense. A woman who reveals her radiant essence and thereby shows the way for her sisters. That's oh, we've even come to this beautiful wrapping around point. So
good.
those of you who are as enraptured with the mind of Valerie Kravette and would like to um, follow her, maybe reach out as a fan or as someone who wants to engage her in her artist at largehood or her creativity coaching or her performing as Ivana Stoop, you can find her on Facebook at Valerie Kravette, both a personal and an artist page.
It's an artist page. Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, if you want, I'm not using it right now because none of us are actively performing, but Ivana Stoop has a Facebook page as well.
Third page, Ivana Stoop. SCHTUPP.
Yes.
Such a pleasure, as always, darling.
Yes. I hope we figured something out.
I think we did.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Stay right there. We're leaving all of you, sweet ones, listening, but you stay right there, Ivana.
Okay.
All right.